up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for June 2nd, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Sunday edition of the podcast. It's going to be another beautiful day out today. Just not as much sun, but get out and enjoy. As always, let's start with a recap of yesterday's question of the day. I asked you which Phillies player was most Hall of Fame worthy. 44% of you said it was Chase Utley. 33% said Dick Allen. I have to say, I don't necessarily agree with you guys on this one. I think you can make a strong case for all three, but to me, it's J-Roll. I think what he accomplished and what he was able to do. Dick Allen certainly should be in as well. I would have Utley third out of the three of these. Both J-Roll and Dick Allen won MVPs, so I mean, you could certainly make a case for Chase Utley, but for me, it's J-Roll, then Dick Allen, and then followed by Utley. But, as always, thanks for participating in the question of the day. We'll have another one later in the show. All right, Phils. Another good win, another series win. They're looking for the sweep tonight on ESPN. 6-1. Ranger had a little bit of a scare. X-rays were negative. He has a contusion, which is a bruise, a little bit of swelling on his pitching hand. He might miss his next start, which means Spencer Turnbull comes in, which Spencer was outstanding yesterday in relief. The bullpen in general did awesome yesterday, filling in for Ranger, who got knocked out in the second. A little bit scary, but looks like he's going to be okay. He was in a good mood after the game, and worst case, he's going to miss his start. But this is a good, not the injury is good, but it's a good situation for the Phillies because Spencer Turnbull has been pitching so well, both in relief and as a starter. Alec Bohm made up for his defense the other night with an outstanding play. I mean, it was the catch, but the throw he made across the field was just phenomenal. The crowd was electric, and I don't think there's a better atmosphere in Philly sports right now. And this is coming from, I've seen the Link rocking. I've never seen a stadium rock like Citizens Bank Park does, and the crowd is electric in the beginning of June. Can you just imagine what it's going to be like as the season progresses? Bryce, though, that shot was a bomb. Upper deck, just this team is so much fun. It really, really is. They've won 9 straight at home now. Like I said, they're looking for the sweep tonight. Let's do it. I mean, and then they got Milwaukee coming in. Reese is coming back this week before they head across the pond for that London series against the Mets. Speaking of the London series, you can get London series shirts from Philly Goat. Probably not going to be here in time for the game. However, they can double as 4th of July shirts. Check out the canvas loafers. I get compliments all the time. And this is not even me trying to upsell them. They literally, to me, are way more comfortable than Hey Dudes. So go check them out. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. All right, that does lead us, though, into the question of the day, because Sosa had another hit last night, playing some good defense. What do you do with him when Trea Turner comes back? There's been a lot of things going on. Do you move him to the outfield, maybe in some sort of platoon role with Castellanos? But then does that affect the vibe of the clubhouse? Do you want because everybody seems to love Castellanos. Do you put him back on the bench and just have him there as an option? Or do you look to possibly trade him? And again, I don't know what you're going to get back in return that isn't going to upset the clubhouse or whatever, but it's an interesting issue for the Phillies right now. And with a team that has 41 wins and a 7.5 game lead, this is their biggest problem. So I'm asking you, what do you do with Sosa once Trea Turner comes back? Do you move him to the outfield? Do you keep him off the bench? Or do you look to trade him to upgrade another position? Let me know what you think. Call me on the Back to the Future voice and text line, or text me 267-495-8531. That will get you in. Hit me up on the social media, Twitter and TikTok, Jimbo_Mont, Instagram @PhillyJimbo. I'm on Facebook, all that good stuff. But let me know your thoughts. You can leave a comment. What do you do with Sosa when Trea Turner comes back? 267-495-8531. Get you in on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel too. That way you stay in the loop with everything that's going on. We do have the nickname tournament coming up in 22 days. The selection show is just 19 days away. Cannot wait. 64 Philly sports nicknames. Philly sport nicknames. 2 matchups a day. You vote. What is the best nickname in Philadelphia sports history? And that is coming June 24th. Spread the word. All the information you need for the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame is down in the description. Ticket information, a link to who's been inducted. And then if you do want to be a sponsor or have anything to donate for the silent auction, hit me up for that as well. And I keep looking over, and something's wrong with the sound today, so if it's a little quiet, that's why. I do apologize for that. But big week coming up for the Eagles, mandatory minicamp. Really, I think the big question heading in is James Bradberry. Is he going to show up? What are they going to do? We've passed. Yesterday was the magic number for when they can release and get a little bit more cap relief than what they would have if they did before. Also, if they trade him, it's even different. I wouldn't just cut him for no reason. I also just wouldn't look to trade him for no reason until you know what you got. I know everybody, that's the big question mark because of how poorly he played last year, actually even dating back to the Super Bowl, but I don't know if I would make a move yet. I mean, you've passed the deadline now. I think you have a lot of folks in that cornerback and secondary room. I just would not make that move in haste, and I would want to see a little bit more of what we got first, but that's not my decision to make. But mandatory minicamp starts Thursday, runs through Thursday, and the big question will be whether or not James Bradberry shows up. There are some Sixers news, non-big free agent related. It does seem that there are sources that are saying the guys from last year they'd like to bring back are Batum, Oubre, and Lowry. I'm okay with all three. I think Lowry provides some mentorship for Tyrese. I think Batum, whatever he did in that first game against the Knicks with Joe, really helped him. So I think he brings some veteran leadership. And then Kelly Oubre, like I said, I'm a big Kelly Oubre fan. So hopefully he's able to do it. I still think I would see, if you can get it for the right price, Melton and even Healed to a certain point. But a lot of that is dependent upon, obviously, what the big move is. So we'll see. But I'm okay with all three of them because you do need some veteran leadership. And then maybe they're going to make some move for some younger guys and have those vets really help mentor. So we got a couple more weeks and we should have a clearer picture of what the Sixers' plan is. Be sure to check out my boys over at the Clashing Conferences podcast, wherever you get your podcast, as well as on YouTube. They're doing a great job. All NBA things related over there. Should be fun to see what their thoughts and takes are for the NBA Finals. There is no Mishkov updates. Somebody pointed out that if you have kids of a certain age, you know what I'm talking about, and I can't get it out of my head now that every time I say Mishkov, they think Mishka, Muska, Mickey Mouse. And Toodles is not coming to get Mishkov signed anytime sooner, but now I can never say his name without thinking Mishka, Mushka, Mickey Mouse. Who knows? Maybe Philly Goat's going to have a shirt once Mishkov does come over here. But I will keep you updated as the updates come in. All right, today we're going to go back to 2002. And on this day in 2002, the Phillies beat the Expos 18-3. Pat Burrell went 3 for 6 with a homer and 5 RBIs, his 15th of the year. Marlon Anderson, Bobby Abreu, Jeremy Giambi, who we talked about in It's a Family Affair last month, Jason Michaels all doubled. Abreu ended up with 4 RBI on the day, but the big story was pitcher Robert Person. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, and 4 walks. But at the plate, he went 2 for 3, scored 3 runs, walked, and hit 2 homers for 7 RBI, including a grand slam in the first inning, a first inning in which the Phillies jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Pat Burrell also hit a 3-run shot in the first, but then Person hit a 3-run shot in the 5th as well. Just an outstanding game both at the plate and at the plate and on the mound, and it's something that you don't see too often, and I don't know if we're going to see this ever again. But Phillies pitchers have hit 2 home runs in a game 8 times. You had Jack Knight do it in 1926, Phil Collins, not that Phil Collins, in 1930. Rick Wise did it twice in 1971, including in a game where he had a no-hitter. Larry Christensen did it in 76, Randy Lurch again in 78, Person, and then Randy Wolf did it in 2004 at Citizens Bank Park. That's one of those records I don't know if we're ever going to see be broken. Maybe Ohtani pitches in a game and hits 2 home runs, but we'll see. That won't happen until at least next year. But on this day in 2002, Phillies beat the Expos 18-3. Robert Person with 2 home runs and 7 RBI, including a grand slam in his 18-3 victory over the Montreal Expos. At that point it was the 7th time it happened in Phillies history. Randy Wolf added one more, but I'm going out on a limb and saying you're never going to see a Phillies pitcher hit 2 home runs in a game. And now that I've said that, it's 100% going to happen. But that happened on this day in 2002. Finally today, we take our trip down Phillies Memory Lane. Today's spotlight is on pitcher Don Carmen. And he was an amateur free agent signing in 1978. Made his debut in October of 1983, the year the Phillies went to the World Series. Had a solid 10-year career, 8 of them with the Phillies. He went 83 and 90. He played from 83 to 90, went 53 and 52 with a 4.06 ERA, 7 complete games, 3 shutouts, had 10 saves and 581 strikeouts. Not bad. I mean, it is. I mean, in the National League, he was 4th in games in 1985. He was 8th in winning percentage, and this was still back when winning percentage meant something in 1986. 9th in wins in 1987. Games started, he was 4th. Innings, he was 10th. So he was a solid pitcher for like a good 3 or 4 year stretch. He had a 1-hit shutout against the Mets in 1987. But to me, Don Carmen is one of those guys, like I throw him in there with Bruce Ruffin and just a lot of those guys who were just, the Phillies never had pitching after the downfall when after 83 and sort of everybody started getting old. And he was just one of those guys in a long line of pitchers who were supposed to be young studs. And he'd probably make $20 million a year with stats like that now. But back then, he was just okay. I just look at him as the poster child for ineptitude during that time. Like him and Bruce Ruffin and Shane Rawley, those 3, I don't know why I lump all 3 of them together. I don't even know if all 3 of them ever pitched on the same staff. But like those were the guys that the Phillies were rolling out there, and just they were not good. I mean, in 1987, the Phillies weren't bad. They went 80 and 82, and I remember as a kid being like, oh, okay. And we knew Mike Schmidt was getting older, but then it just went downhill from there. I think they lost 3 or 4 straight years, or 90 games for 3 or 4 straight years. But I equate Don Carmen, who is today's spotlight, Shane Rawley, and Bruce Ruffin. Bruce Ruffin's another one. Like, I don't know. Just those are the guys that I don't know. But Don Carmen wasn't bad for the Phillies. Was not bad, but to me, I just equate him with those bad teams. Apparently, he was a nice guy too, well liked in the clubhouse, solid on the field, but just doesn't move the needle for me. Hopefully, he never gets into the Phillies Wall of Fame. But Don Carmen, pitcher from the mid to late 80s to, I guess he pitched into 1990 for the Phillies, is today's Phillies Memory Lane Spotlight of the Day. On this day in 2002, Robert Person hit 2 home runs in the Phillies' 18-3 win over the Expos. Also went 5 innings, struck out 5, gave up 3 runs. But not a bad day at the office for good old Robert Person. We'll have more on the Mishkov update as it comes. Let me know your thoughts on the Sixers, those three free agents. Like I said, I'm all in on those three guys. If those are the guys they're going to bring back, I wouldn't mind Melton either, but I think he's going to be too expensive. Maybe you have a different feeling. So let me know your thoughts on that. Big week coming up for the Eagles in minicamp. Union, third straight draw last night, 2-2 against Montreal. Kind of a feisty one. Both teams finished up with 10 players. But Daniel Gazdag, I think that's how you pronounce this, Gazdag, tied the Union record set by Sebastian Latou for 50 goals in a career. So his next goal will make him the all-time leading scorer in Union history. Let me know your thoughts on what the Phillies should do with Sosa. I think if it was me, I probably would just maybe start giving guys days off. I don't know what the solution is, but I don't think you trade him. I don't think you can keep him out of the lineup, but I don't want him messing up the flow of the clubhouse either. Not that he would, but it's just one of those things. So let me know. 267-495-8531. Get you in on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Phils look for the sweep tonight. So go enjoy this beautiful Sunday. You don't have to worry about the Phils. So mow your grass, go to the pool, have a catch, whatever you got to do. Go for a run, a bike ride, eat lunch outside. It's going to be a perfect day for it. No Phillies game. That way you can get all settled up and ready to go tonight. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for June 2nd, 2024. I'm Jim Montgomery, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.